What up, devils? Dr. Toot with another financial market checkup for you this week. I did this 2 weeks ago. We just a few large caps, non-crypto things in the traditional world that I was keeping an eye on. Wanted to actually really kind of did a live look at them for you, just to get a gauge of where we were going to go from the stonks to the rates to the commodities, just to see where we're going, and had some ideas, gave you some trade ideas on the last one, gave you some strong bias. And let's just check up on that and see where we're at, where we're going to go next. So first we started with the ES. I believe we were down at around, let's see, I wrote it down, 41.90 here. And I said that we should, we could, maybe even likely, make a new low relative to this low. But before we made any low relative to this low, we should at least test this area. Felt strongly about it, and we have seen that has gone well. We'll just go ahead and fly through the different ones that we talked about, and then we'll go back and dig into where we're at, what we're doing. So, but keep track of that I said this area, we're there now. So definitely something that we want to pay attention to. Said I was interested in Amazon. Amazon was 29.10 back then. We're at 32.7. This is actually, I haven't really touched this chart at all. I think I had this fib, but basically, just drawn right. Yes. Said that we were headed this direction, 29.10 down here ish, and been beautiful ever since. And look where we're at, right where the arrow ended. Interesting. So what the analysis for this week is going to be key, right? But let's see, Tesla. This was the big one that, because it still had room to go to the downside at the time. We were, whereas the Amazon had already shown reaction there, that was, so this one was still around here. What was it? Tesla 77.93. So we were right around here. I said nothing was screaming for a buy yet, but that we were coming to a strong potential area. I alerted members to the reaction at the resistance area here, at the support area here, I should say. And this has been a great trade, and I would say that, based on typical expectation, I'd say that's a completed full pay winner, with, just perfect setup, right? Some of the other ones that are harder for you guys, maybe these bounce plays that, it's scary, hard to do, counter trend shorts, things like that. They're tough. This is what the kind of trade you should focus on. But yeah, this one looked good, and look where we are now. So we'll circle back to this. Let's see, Amazon, Tesla, ES. I said potentially short energy. So let's go over here to the U's. All right, so we're actually. So I said when I said potentially, that's the one I'm like nervous for you guys to do. This is counter trend short. Hesitated to even say anything, but we were at 958, so we're roughly here. And we had a perfect short. This is basically what you're trying to get. This is what you short scalpers against the trend scalpers love to do. I only like it if it's really high quality, and that one was. That's why I mentioned it. Even though I hesitated, but yeah, this is why I hesitated. We're way past it now. So this was energy. And you could have looked at crude or, really anything in energy, but this is a good, and I actually, by the way, see the circle here. I was just pointing out a bunch of different confluence factors at this level to raise your antennas to the members that, hey, if you're short, start thinking about these are buy signals. Of course, we did continue down further, but this is where I just showed as an alert, not to say sell your position, go long, or anything like that, but anyway, those are things that I keep for the members. Anywho, let's see. A couple knife play suggestions. Let's see. Snowflake and PayPal. Both of those are doing pretty well. Snowflake was at 180. We're at 227. PayPal's was at 95. We're at 116. So those are decent looking, right? So I think that there's definitely something on the hard right edge to look at even on those. So I don't know that we're going to get anything else. Now let's talk about the bad. I think I said that I gave potential scenarios for rates, and they're running away just like inflation. So I guess they're going to keep going. We talked about a couple different options. Let's see. There's the 10-year yield. I showed that this could have been well, these were the two potentials that I liked at the time, and I said alternatively this could have already just be a 1-2-1-2, and we are rocking. This is pretty critical resistance here. I would hope that we consolidate, retrace before this goes off more. But if we break through this, hold a retest, man, it's gonna be something. But yeah, so this was the least, let's say the least desirable for me of the scenarios we talked about last week. But there you go, or 2 weeks ago. Gold, you know, meh. I said it was coming up on a long. We were testing this. We broke through, tested the next level down here. This is all on the chart already. We're rebounding nicely. We got to get back through here. Otherwise, it's a perfect little zigzag. But not surprising to see with rates going crazy. So if my ideas, you know, usually those are counter, or let's say they're not correlated. They're opposite of one another. Here I am in another video, missing the words that I want on the tip of my tongue. You guys, these recording the videos, it's not as easy as you might think, fellas. Anyway, yeah, so we would, you know, just like we would want the resistance, you know, if this is at resistance, again, you can't use this chart to TA this chart, right? But be sure that if this breaks through here, we reject here, go down, right? But if this rejects here, goes down, maybe we break through, go up, potentially, right? So if you're hot on commodities, the metals, the gold and the silver specifically, you're going to want to see that thing fail here. Okay, there's your crude, and again, this hasn't made a new high relative to the drop like the used did, but it's taken most of it back. But we had a significant drop after that video, right? So what we'd like to see is maybe that's an A, but really it's not even big enough. So I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this is still internal. So really trying to say that there's any significant retracement following hot, you know, like say for instance you want to say, okay, I'm gonna take a 3C trade to the downside here. I'm not so sure. So let's see. Yeah, so those are what we talked about last week. We pretty much banged it out of the park. A couple little discrepancies there, but you can't win them all. This is trading, right? So let's see. Let's start. Let's go back. Let's go ahead and start with energy. We're already here, so we'll go ahead and see. Do we think that there's going to be any follow through to the downside, or was it all just a farce? Just a 4 hour, and we won't dwell on this. So this is clearly 3 swings to the downside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Counting 7 swings to the upside, but really, we could get in even further. I don't really want to, but I could see it being 1, 2, and I bet you it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 3, 4, 5, and then we're putting in, because it's you know, I'm pretty darn apt to say that. I'm not gonna call this move corrective. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Yeah, 1, 2, 1, 2. So yeah, I dig it. Yeah, I would not be looking to, I would be looking to potentially, you know, I'm not looking to necessarily take a counter trend short at this level, but I mean, I would say bearish to this area, but I would strongly be interested in seeing if this was a finished corrective, right? If this gave us a nice looking corrective into the area of a long for a beautiful potential 3 play, right? That's the dream, right? Just drop down to here. $30 play. Hell yeah. All right, so that doesn't look bearish. Let's go ahead. If we're going to stick to energy, we'll go to the use real quick. I mean, same thing. This looks like it's potentially finishing a 4 here, working on a 5th, which could finish a 5th at some degree. Again, this has been on the chart for quite some time. I think I might even showed you guys in the public. I'm not sure. So we were expecting a large move to the upside, right? definitely looks like it's finishing an impulsive structure to the upside, which is, again, it could always stay internal, go up and not be impulsive, but it looks very much like an impulse. So even when we do retrace, I'm not expecting this the bottom to fall out of energy. It's just not. If anything, we're on a multi-year bull. It's just going to keep going up. So when you do get a decent retracement out of this, man, load up your bags. But that's a longer term, like, we're on the 1 hour, but for the degree that I'm concerned with, this is, way, right? I mean, it could happen tomorrow as quickly as these markets develop, but I don't think it's going to. May not even be ready before, if I say do this again in 2 weeks. We'll see. Maybe I'll do it again in 2 weeks. These don't get any sort of any sort of views. Not that any of my videos do, but these do worse than everything else. So we'll see how I feel. Let's go. All right, so that's energy. Let's go ahead and jump over to the ES. We're already on my indices tab. So I was basically saying that, like I said, basically no high quality Elliott in this area that I used last time to tell you that I felt very strongly about this bounce, although we did go through the reasoning why. I won't rehash it now. We have now broken out of that. So basically what we have to then determine, because, first thing we have to determine is, was this an adequate retracement of the move as we have it labeled? Go up 12 hour. If it was, then we don't have to feel strongly that the correction is unfinished. If it was not, then we should feel strongly that the move to the upside is, in fact, corrective to get you to what point? Not sure. This market loves sideways styles moves, which means, if it's sideways, that means you're testing all-time highs again before you come back down to the, this area again. Based on the market behavior, this specific market, that's what it's very important in your trading and your analysis, is that you are keen to your specific market. And based on this specific market's behavior, it kind of sucks, because it's not typical that a retracement of this size would be considered very adequate. But it is in this instance, because as you see, all of the corrections are so slight in this market. Of course, we do have big ones that creep in there, right? But this would be a pretty typical potential too, right? My gut wants to tell me, it's not, but it's not finished here, that we should maybe put in a sideways, come back down to this area. But I don't see anything on the chart to indicate that at this moment, right? One way or the other. We just don't have enough information at this moment. I know that people will want to call it this far out and pound their chest, but we don't care about that. Just trying to get it right for trades. So what are we looking at here? What is the potential idea that this was a 1-2 working on 3? That's got to be sort of where we're at now, right? This is a 3 swing move, did not create a new low. And this is why I said that we could potentially create a new low relative to this one, because this kind of felt unfinished, right? And we were already broken external of this move. So it's just kind of, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just kind of easy, right, to say that. And you'll be wrong a lot, but obviously, as you guys see every week, you'll be right a lot too if you, put the work in and get good at the theory. Let's see. Anybody can do this. You guys see, this is easy shit that I do. I'm not doing anything complicated. And I know I don't have probably a big audience because I don't give the nice shiny labels and do the flashy buzzwords that get you that. But I think that unfortunately that's one of the things that contributes to the lack of success of traders that are in that environment, because the slot machine's real pretty at the casino, blackjack table looks boring, but your odds are way better over there. Anyway, you know me and my terrible analogies. The question becomes, is this a 3 or a C? We've broken out of the base trend channel. We have retested and moved on. That is usually a good sign of a 3 in play. We haven't made it to the 1618. We would like to see this continue on in order to be so. If it turned around here, came back inside, I'd say, that's a C. This was a zigzag, and it has not tipped its hand to us yet. Again, we have gotten into this area. You know, last 2 weeks ago, what it was. Let's go 2 hour. Hold on, the springtime cough is coming on. Oh, toot. All right. So the let's see, golden zone's there. We got the parallel there. Definitely some. Let's do the volume profile on this puppy. Low volume node there. Yeah, we've definitely got some confluence for major rejection here, and I just, you know, if you're long, I'd be wrapping it up and then going and wait and see if you're on this degree. If you're long based on sort of what we talked about before. We've sort of concluded that idea, and now doesn't mean you have to have a plan right away. You know, you could be short bias. I wouldn't hate you for that. You know, volume's drying up. Major divergence. If you shorted in this area, I would not be mad at you. But then you know, you have to have a game plan here, right? What are you shorting for? What degree chart are you looking at? You know, like, don't be on the 2 minute looking for a short down to here. Look for a short down to the next area of support, right? So you got to know what you're doing, and I can't fit all that into these videos. You got to join the Discord. You got to work on your game. You got to come to the way of trading that works for you, right? I'm helping you with analysis here. You got to figure out the trading, what works for you, right? You know, and come to the Discord, figure out what works for you. I'm sure I can help you with it, whether it's, you know, if it has something to do with what I'm showing you, whether it's on the 2 minute, 2 day, 2 week, doesn't matter. Anyway, would not be mad at that, but more of a wait and see mode. If I'm long, because then I'm just riding my, you know, I don't want to dump out if we, you know, for the potential that we got new all-time highs on the way, you know, just look to wrap it up. If we return through, you know, go back, retest support, and go through it, right? Take it off then. All right, so let's move on to the next one. So Tesla. I think I said this already. Yeah, I mean, basically, I think that's going to be a theme of the day on these bangers that we hit. For me, the trade ended probably back here, although we have again broken out of the base trend, retested. I mean, it's beautiful. If you're still in it, I can't blame you for staying in it. But if we return back into this area, reject on the trend line, maybe it's time to get out. Let's go ahead and throw our volume. On this one, or visible range. Yeah, getting into the thick of it here. Getting outside of the value range, just below the top of it. Let's see. That was that pull, broke that. Now this is the high. We did break the 65. You never hate seeing that, but the fact that we rejected the way we did, there's reason if you watch Trade Devil Sam that he looks at the 707 now as well. And look, right at the low volume node, right before the value area low. Short of the 1618, sound familiar? And the thing about these giant Well, that's not what I was looking for. I was looking for that guy. All right, the 1272. Yeah, that's the thing about these giant twos, man. These things really got to rip more than even your 1618, really, a lot of the times. So this does, at this point, I will say this does look corrective. This looks like we're in a corrective here. So, you know, but of course we did drop hard up. So is it a corrective going that way and this is correcting to go this way? Or is this all just corrective? I'll let you zoom in and do your own determinations. So yeah, again, if we've got a bunch of profits from 2 weeks ago, and we're long still, thinking about maybe getting out. Am I looking at shorting right away or anything like that? Not necessarily. Where would I want to short this one potentially? You know, because I'm not a top caller. I hate calling tops. But you know, when you're internal to the all-time high, it's not necessarily calling tops. But let's just say on this one, from the looks of it, you know, it's obvious breakthrough here. You know, obviously this looks impulsive to this side. Put another one down to that side, and say we haven't created a new low relative yet, and it comes through, retest and rejects. Boom, go for the 3 play down. Where's your next area of support? Right here, right in here. So, you know, if you're trading on the 2 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute even, that's a big trade. So again, nice winner. You know, don't be afraid to cash it in. Don't be afraid to take those profits. Go to the store and buy some candy. Did we talk Amazon? Let's talk Amazon. I mean, this is what I drew last week. And this was, and I think if I recall correctly, you're going to have to go back and watch 2 weeks ago. I keep saying last week. You're going to have to go back and check. I think I said that this was the most bearish potential. And that so either it's a major low or it's not a major low and it's a C or something of that nature to this area before this happens. But either way, that's how I was telling you that the long was a great idea, right? Because you get all these forces on your side. If I'm wrong, I'm right. If I'm right, I'm wrong. Whether you were saying that all-time high is next or you're saying it's corrective, right? So when you're wrong and when you can be wrong and be right, that's how you start getting, let's say, the confluences, the forces on your side, and make good trades, as opposed to like trying to project out some low quality bullshit and thinking that you're gonna play the map that way, boys. That's not how you do it. Although that's just what a lot of people want to do, and I'm out there every day advocating it against it, and it's generally falling on deaf ears. But hey, not always. Okay, so I mean, I feel like I'm just repeating myself now. Is this a 3 or a C? 1, 2, 3. It has not. This one is contained within the base channel at this point. Of course, that is a giant wick. Let you determine how you want to play those ways. Get rid of this. Now that does look, that looks like a beautiful zigzag to that level. So I don't know that, you know, still don't know the answer, right? As far as, again, just like everything else, is this a 3 or a C? But this one does look like it wants to make another little swing high. So if you're a day trader, even if you like to trade over a couple days, I wouldn't be, you know, we went to support and we bounced, right? I wouldn't be mad at you for making a play to the 618 or being long biased to that 618 at this point. Let's get down here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Wouldn't be mad at you for that. All right. So, but again, you're getting long in the tooth on the riding this trend up. You know, if you're in and out the whole way, as you know, if you're down on this time frame, you should be, or even lower. But right now the play is long to me. If for your tomorrow's trading, see if you can't come down here, get you some fill. All right, that's for you Amazon day traders. I know a few of you. Snowflake and PayPal. Let's look at snow. Cloud computing, baby. Okay. So we had all the reasoning that I probably didn't give a ton of last week for the reason for the bounce, right? So just trust old Dr. Toot here for a minute, right? We called the bounce, right? So why don't you just trust me on a little bit that there's confluence there, okay? I don't want to go ahead and dig into it, right? You just got to get into the educational videos, and it's just going to take forever, and you already aren't interested. So let's just look at the low time frame. Larger potential move pattern finish to the downside. Strongest thing of Elliott, being able to identify completed patterns. We got one, right? Now we have what appears to be an impulsive move off of that. So if this is a correction, let's just say that this didn't complete this big structure. It completed, say, this structure at some degree, and we still have more downside. If we come off of this low in 5 waves, we know Elliott Wave here, right, guys? We at least know this. At least if you're watching this, you went and got your free white belt, I hope. TradeDevils.com. But what we know is that we can't finish a corrective, and as an impulse here, unless you got some crazy thing where you're going to say, oh, 2, well, this looks like 3, and it's okay. Go ahead, play that way, and you and I will look at this setup 100 times, and I'll trade it long. Take a long off of a retrace here. You just short the top and call it finished corrective, and we'll see who comes out ahead. Over 100 of those trades. We'll both be wrong, plenty. One of us a lot more than the other, though, if you ask me. Anyway, so yeah, I would be, despite all that long in the tooth stuff on those larger caps that we're talking about, I'd be interested if I see a high quality corrective complete to the downside. Get me some of that, maybe not. Get me some of that right there. Okay, let's look at PayPal. Same thing. Said it over again. Don't need to repeat myself. Now this hasn't. Now this one's a little bit behind. Now this looks to me like this looks like an impulse in play for a 5th wave. Don't love those. I would play this one potentially based on everything I see here. Because what's a 3 wave at this degree going to be finishing up as far as how does a corrective of this size fit here? Not well, right? So, and I'm sorry that, I'm not more, this is probably why nobody watches my videos, because I'm not more basic. I'm talking to you like you know what you're doing, I guess. Anyway, yeah, this is not big enough that, it could be, obviously, and that's always a caveat. Anything I say, even as definitively as I could possibly say it, could always be wrong if I'm talking about future actions. This is not what I would say an adequate retracement to finish there. It looks like an impulse in play. I don't love 5th wave trades. I would be interested in a 5th wave trade here. And I, put your own rules on those. 5th wave trades are usually not the best, but yeah, I'll let you decide how you trade those things. And I'll update the members. I'll update you guys with these charts. Better the next 2 weeks. Been busy as usual, but I'll make sure I keep you guys up to date on a lot of these things that are playing out. But yeah, I'd like to see this probably potentially do something like this. Purple. And then I'd be interested in a long of a similar degree as this one would have finished, right? These never play out exactly how we draw these, but let's see, something like this, maybe something like that. Why not be more conservative? Why not, right? Because we're gonna get a nice. If you put a risk reward on this, and you're gonna be, let's say, safe, and you're not gonna try to pick pivots. Where's my damn reward? This looks different. The trading view. Did you change something again? Or did I just change something? So let's just say you're gonna do one of these old TDU specials. About roughly 5 to 1, hair less. Yeah, I'd roll with that. All right, so there's that. You know, kind of long bias on those, even though I'm nervous about those other big caps. We talked about the ES already, didn't we? Yes, we did. Gold, we already kind of talked about that. You know, I want to basically wait and see. Looks like it could be a completed zigzag to the upside here. Snow, PayPal, energy stonks. We talked about those. We started with that. I think we covered it, boys. Yeah, there's still definitely action to be had in the traditional markets. They are great markets. All the major, I think every exchange now, or not exchange, every broker now is like zero trading fees. Crypto isn't that cheap. So I know most of the people that watch my channel aren't into that, and if you're still here, you probably are into this. But if you're not and you're thinking about it, start tomorrow. It's so easy to sign up. Trust me. All right, boys. That's it for this Dr. Toot market checkup. Toot out.